Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto IO, the place where I read you the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, just so you don't have to. My name is not important. Let's go. Ether, ETFs pending, Grayscale, VanEck, and others file SEC applications. Dude, this bull run is setting up, I'm telling you. Ripple CEO slams SEC over use of XRP Report in lawsuit. And last but not least, Saylor's MicroStrategy plans $750 million stock sale, possibly buying more Bitcoin. Why else would Saylor be liquidating stocks? Think about it. All right. First of all, before we get to the market, guys, again, a big, giant thank you to every single one of you. We are now at 108 subscribers. Our view count's not huge, but definitely ticking up, and I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. Again, share this stuff everywhere. More crypto awareness equals more crypto adoption equals financial freedom, and from a degenerate standpoint, bags pumping. It's just the facts. Again, I thank you guys. Let's continue to grow. Let's rock and roll. On to the market. Current market cap, guys, sitting at $1.18 trillion. Bitcoin dominance still hovering around that 48.6%. ETH dominance ticking down a little bit, though. From 19 flat, we are now at 18.9. And Gath is super low. Gas. I don't know why. I don't feel like I have this much trouble talking normally, but when I start to do these videos and record them, for some reason my brain decides to lose a bit of its momentum. Gas is at 16 Gwei will get you an ETH transaction, which is significantly low. It's awesome. Can't be about that. Fear and Greed Index sitting at 53, up a little bit from yesterday, and I think it's because of the volatility we got in Bitcoin last evening, this morning. We're going to talk about that shortly, per usual. Currently, right now, market's still looking a little bit sideways, a little bit green, ones, twos, threes, nothing too significant that I'm seeing in the top 100. There are some outliers per usual, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We're just going to blow through it. If I see any big outliers, I'll call them out. But yeah, okay, so XDC 16.21 for the day, 23.4 for the week. Tezos is up 4%. 4s and 5s for Phantom and INJ. I bought the dip on INJ last night, added to my bag, so that's cool. I'm stoked on that. Render 2.54 for the day, 4% on CFX, 4.41 on Gala. Curve Dow is still bleeding. There's a lot of FUD. I would stay away from it right now, personally. But yeah, we got 8.72 on this Bone Shiba swap. I'm a busy guy. I really want to deep dive into it, but I don't have the time. If anybody wants to deep dive into this and show me some articles or something, I'll definitely read them on the channel. For anybody who's watching, just let me know in the comments. But why is the fact, the fact that I didn't even know that Shiba had a swap that's been around since the last bull, and now it's making some moves. By all means, let me know what you know or what you found out. But yeah, that's about it, guys. All right, on the Bitcoin 4 hour. When I left you yesterday, we were playing around in this potential bull flag, or bear flag, excuse me. So sideways movement, dropped down, created another sideways movement or potential bear flag, broke down, created another smaller bear flag on smaller time frames. So we'll look at it on the 1 hour real quick, just to let you know what we were looking at yesterday. It's about like this, and we broke out of it, dropped down. Now here's what's interesting. I keep telling you that 28.6 is just a buy order, but for some reason it seems to be holding weight. So we hit that 28.610 and bounced. So we got the breakout. Now here's what happened, which is like textbook for my levels. we did break, but then we got bought up. We bought up, got back above this 28.91, which I told you I need to see this flip back into support for us to continue moving higher. It's exactly what we did. We set right on top of it. Let me stretch this out just a little bit more so you can see. And this is the 1 hour now. Got above it, retested, textbook retest of a support level, and then blew up. Blew up all the way back up again to another one of my levels, this 29.304. It acted as resistance. We bull flagged, broke out again, and just rocketed. Rocketed all the way up to $30,000 and got rejected. And these are all levels, guys, that I've had on the channel for quite some time. By all means, if you want to test it, go back and watch some of the older videos. We bounced off the 29.8, which I was hoping would hold as support. It did not, and we ticked it down. Now, what I'm assuming, this is a huge assumption, guys. Don't quote me on this. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. On top of that, I am not a great trader. I don't know what I'm doing half the time, so don't listen to me. I'm just a random dude in a room making YouTube videos talking to nobody. So, with that being said, the rumor is that I'm hearing is that because of this story that we're going to read of Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy potentially liquidating $750 million of traditional stock assets, that the ideas are going to be buying Bitcoin, and that pumped the market. The rumor is that that is the news that pumped the market. So we'll see. But with that being said, let's move this down to the 4 hour. So potentially maybe we can get a setup. And this is really hard to make a call right now at this point. We are potentially turning this old resistance level into support that was coming off of the sideways action that we had last week. But lots of selling side at 30, but I'm seeing lots of buying pressure at that around that 29.3. Let's just call it like 29.5. It's probably right around what that psychological number is that people are buying. 29.5ish, 29. Yeah, it's a little bit lower. Wick down pretty low. Either way, what I'm seeing is lots of selling pressure at 30 and a good amount of buying pressure around that 29.3ish level. So what does that mean? I don't know. The reality is we're just ranging still. If you go to the daily, this is what we're looking at. We are starting to create a downward trend, though, which is slightly concerning. You know, if we were to look at something like this, I would actually even call that a fake out. That was based off of the XRP news, if I remember correctly. So if we were to do something like this, which kind of makes sense. Again, these are always just ideas, guys. None of this shit's set stone. Anyone ever tells you it is, they're just trying to get you to watch their videos. And this is what I recommend to anyone trying to learn how to trade. Play around, draw some lines. What does it look like? Start referencing certain patterns, certain support and resistance levels. Learn what those patterns could potentially be. Now, if we are in this descending wedge on the daily, this is still technically kind of bullish. These wedges actually they're kind of similar to bear flag or bull flags, excuse me. This would be a huge bull flag. So let's look at another one real quick before we move on. I'm sorry, I know my lines are absolutely astronomical and insane, but this was a descending wedge, pump, descending wedge. Where do we go from here? All right. So these are things to think about. But again, these are dailies. These will take time to play out, which usually have substantially larger moves as well, though. But they can, again, go either way. They can go down or up. They just have a stronger percentage of moving to the upside. But that's all I'm seeing, guys. we're still playing the $28,000 to $30,000 range. So let's see what happens. Outside of that, let me go back down to the 4 hour. I got a little ahead of myself and kind of got in the weeds a bit. On the short term, your two levels right now are your 30,000 and your 29.3. All right. You can play with the idea of this top resistance level becoming support or breaking back into the sideways pattern. But don't get, I'm going to erase some of this stuff. Don't get too wrapped up in that. Just keep it simple in your head, in my opinion. Again, we bounced off of that 28.6. It looks really strong down there, and can potentially call that 28.9 because as soon as this flag broke, it got bought right back up. But right now, with this buy side and this sell side, the range I would be paying attention to for swings or potential breakouts or breakdowns are going to be your 29.3 and your 30,000. That is what I'm seeing. It's not a crystal ball, but that is the slight edge I'd be looking for. Got our green dot. Yeah, that's good. Bull div. Money flow coming back out. RSI rounding a little bit. Yeah, it still looks bullish, guys, at least on the 4 hour. This is just, again, these are small time frames. Yeah, I'm repeating myself one last time when we get onto the news. I'm just trying to, again, like, I don't really look at charts too heavily until I sit down and do these videos. That's why it sounds like I don't know what I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll leave it at that, but that's why it sounds like I'm kind of all over the place. But again, I'm just playing with ideas because I think a lot of TA guys spend way too much time getting super technical and kind of putting shit over people's heads. And I feel that way when I watch a lot of trading videos. I'm like, dude, okay, like you're literally filling an hour with just give us ranges, you know. And these are ranges I can see. Looking at the charts this morning, we like I said, we've definitely got a good bounce off of that around that 29.3 and good resistance off of that 30,000. So those are the levels I'll be playing, especially if we start to range, right? If you're playing swings, which I am not, I'll be blatantly honest with you. All I'm doing right now, I feel like we're at the bottom, and I think these are all decent buying opportunities. We could definitely always potentially go down lower, but from what I'm seeing in trend, I'm feeling personally strong that we are in a bottom. So I've just been accumulating. Why not? Why not keep it easy on yourself? You know, in my opinion, the ins, the outs, the trading. I mean, if you've got time for it, cool. High five. If you've got, you know, if you've got the balls for it, for the risk reward, etc., etc. This will be the first time in my crypto career where I think I don't really need to trade that much because I think I'm getting in at the bottom, right? I'm building positions at the bottom, so it'll be interesting for me. So again, my point is, you know, if you're playing swings, awesome. I'm all for it. These are the ranges you'd be looking at. If you're building bags, this is definitely a good, in my opinion. Again, who the fuck am I? I'm a nobody. But in my opinion, this is definitely a good area to just DCA. Dollar cost average, build bags, etc., etc. Wait for the next 18 months to 2 years. You potentially have a really good bull cycle and didn't have to do a ton of in and out. Right? All right, I think that's enough. I've rambled enough. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's get on to the news and get you guys on to your day. Ether ETFs pending. Grayscale, VanEck, and others file SEC applications. Large financial institutions, guys, are coming in. What will this do for ETH? What will this do for Bitcoin? Think about it. If you guys don't think that this shit can go hard this next bull cycle, it's hard for me to think that it can't, with all of these large financial institutions wanting to create funds around crypto. All right, a handful of United States asset managers have filed fresh applications. Oh, excuse me. That was gross and rude of me. I'm burping. To launch Ethereum futures ETFs, and then they will start filing for their spot ETFs. Why wouldn't they? 6 major asset managers, including Grayscale and VanEck, have filed fresh applications in a bid to launch Ethereum futures exchange-traded funds (ETFs) to United States customers. Separate filings submitted to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), reviewed by Cointelegraph, outline respective applications from the likes of Grayscale, VanEck, Bitwise, Volatility Shares, ProShares, and Round Hill Capital. Tweets about it, I guess. Grayscale's filing included 2 applications, a proposed Grayscale Global Bitcoin Composite ETF, as well as a Grayscale Ethereum Futures ETF. Grayscale's Ether ETF will invest in future contracts that are set to be traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME. The SEC filing notes that Grayscale's fund will primarily invest front-month Ether futures, which are contracts with the shortest time maturity. Grayscale added that it intends to roll Ether future contracts before they expire. This is also another thought as I'm reading this. These guys are trying to get all of this approved and in place before the next bull cycle. That's how they make the most of their money, if these things pump, right? Makes sense. All right. Volatility Shares also outlined plans to list an Ethereum futures ETF investing its assets in cash-settled contracts. Referencing ETH trading on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, it noted that the fund will not invest directly in Ether. Volatility's filing also notes that it intends to enter into cash-settled Ethereum futures contracts as the buyer. Cash-settled futures markets typically see a counterparty pay cash to the buyer if the price of a futures contract goes up, while the buyer would pay the counterparty if the price of the future contract goes down. VanEck's filing also indicates that its investment strategy will look to invest in ETH futures contracts so that the value of ETH, which the fund has exposure to, is equal to 100% of the total asset of the fund. The filing notes that any change in the value of ETH would result in a large changes to the VanEck Ether ETF fund. This would include the potential for greater losses than if the fund's exposure to the value of ETH were unleveraged. ProShares gave an overview of their short Ether strategy ETF, which will invest in daily contracts that look to profit on losses of the S&P CME Futures Exchange, Ether Futures, profit and losses of the S&P CME Ether Futures Index. Mouthful, guys, sorry. As explained, the ProShares fund would gain as much as the index loses on a given day, while the converse would apply. These applications come in the wake of a recent application of various mainstream asset management firms looking to launch Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs, they should put into play there. The world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, is among those looking to offer what would be the first Bitcoin ETFs offered in the country, the Bitcoin spot ETFs. We already have futures ETFs, guys, for Bitcoin. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. Moving on. Ripple CEO slams the SEC over use of XRP report and lawsuit. Brad Garlinghouse stressed Ripple's unchanged commitment to transparency, but hinted that future reports might undergo some changes. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse on August 2nd expressed his disapproval of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission for utilizing Ripple's quarterly markets report designed to enhance transparency in the cryptocurrency industry as evidence against the company in the ongoing lawsuit. Garlinghouse stated that the company initiated the reports with the intention of voluntarily offering updates on their XRP holdings. However, the CEO said these reports were later used against the company in the SEC lawsuit. Garlinghouse reiterated the company's commitment to transparency, but hinted that future reports might undergo some changes. We began these reports to voluntarily... I don't usually read this, but I'm curious to see what Brad had to say. We began these reports to voluntarily provide updates given our XRP holdings. Sadly, they were used against us in the SEC lawsuit. However, we remain steadfast in our commitment to transparency, but I suspect they're going to look a bit different moving forward. Got it. As per official announcement on July 31st, Ripple, the crypto payment solution firm, unveiled its Q2 2023 XRP markets report. This report stands out from previous quarters as it centers on key highlights such as Judge Torr's significant summary judgment ruling, clarifying misconceptions, and shedding light on Ripple's XRP holdings. The report reveals that Ripple's XRP holdings surged from 5.5, was that billion? Yeah, 5.5 billion. 5,506,585,918. I'll just read it all the way out to 5,551. So about 55 million more, representing an increase of approximately 45 million. Oh, why did I just read that? Sorry, guys. I'm an idiot. Simultaneously, the total XRP on ledger escrow decreased by nearly 1 billion, which can be attributed to the rising demand for XRP. In addition, Ripple CEO's criticism of XRP lawyer John Deaton also expressed... Oh, really? Wait, hold on. Ripple CEO criticism. Oh, not I. Sorry, I read that. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. I was reading it as if Brad Garlinghouse was criticizing John Deaton. So let me just continue. I'm sorry. In addition to Ripple CEO's criticism, XRP lawyer John Deaton also expressed strong disapproval of the SEC's use of these reports as evidence against the company and its executives in an ongoing lawsuit. He said that Ripple willingly publishes these reports as on a quarterly basis, while other firms not only conceal token sales but also deliberately disguise such transactions. Exactly. Ripple acknowledges the significant ruling made by Judge Torres in the case of Securities and Exchange Commission versus Ripple Labs on July 13th, which declared that XRP is not considered a security. However, the company clarified that while all XRP sales are not classified as security, sales executed under written contracts can be categorized as an investment contracts and thus fall under security classification. Furthermore, Ripple addressed misconceptions surrounding its partial victory, stressing that while XRP is not a security in certain contexts, it may be considered as such in specific circumstances. Additionally, the company clarified that the ruling provides protection to sophisticated institutions but does not extend the same protection to retail buyers. We don't need the SEC. That's just the truth of it. We're over it. We're adults. We make mistakes. We need to take responsibility for it. Let me know what you guys think. Comments down below as usual. Last but not least, Saylor MicroStrategy plans $750 million stock sale, possibly buying more Bitcoin. This is a rumor. Is this hopium? I don't know, but I'm just trying to figure out why else would Michael Saylor liquidate $750 million of traditional stocks. I see why they would go this way with it. MicroStrategy, one of the largest corporate holders of Bitcoin, said proceeds of the sale could, he said it himself, could be used to buy even more Bitcoin. United States-based software development company MicroStrategy is planning to raise up to $750 million via a stock sale and says it may use proceeds to buy more Bitcoin. In a filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission on August 1st, MicroStrategy announced it has entered into a sales agreement with three companies, Cowen and Company, Canaccord Genuity, and Berenberg Capital, relating to the sale of its Class A common stock. MicroStrategy said the proceeds of the proposed sale could be used for a variety of general corporate purposes, such as the acquisition of more Bitcoin and working capital. As with prior programs, we may use the proceeds for general corporate purposes, which include the purchase of Bitcoin as well as the purchase or repayment of our outstanding debt, MicroStrategy Chief Financial Officer Andrew King said during a second quarter earnings call. The Michael Saylor founded firm currently holds 152,800 Bitcoin, worth about $4.5 billion at current prices. It added 12,333 Bitcoin to the second quarter and another 467 in July. Our objective is to find ways to generate incremental Bitcoin for our shareholders and do that with either cash flow from the business or do it through intelligent architive financing of equity or debt or other intelligent operations, MicroStrategy Chairman Michael Saylor told investors on August 1st. The price of Bitcoin rose nearly 2% immediately following the announcement, climbing from $29,200 to about $29,771 at the time of writing. Shares of MicroStrategy have benefited significantly from the ongoing Bitcoin rally, having now risen nearly 200% since the start of this year. MSTR shares surged from $145.50 0.02 per share on January 3rd to 434.98 at the time of publication, according to data from Google Finance. That would be a huge inflow of money into Bitcoin, guys. 750 million. Do I think he's going to use it all to buy Bitcoin? Probably not. Will he buy some? I don't know why he wouldn't. With that being said, let's look at Bitcoin one last time. Still, yeah, looks like the top of that sideways movement that we had last week is looking to be support around, we'll just say right at 29,548. Let's hit the 1 hour. Dipped in, came out, holding above it. Let's look at the 7 minute. Let's look at the 15 minute. Yeah, that's looking strong. Get yourself a nice little rounded bottom. Potentially set up for a cup and handle. Who knows? 7 minute. Trend change. Ribbons turning white. This is what's crazy about the 7 minute, guys. It's so telltale. If you watch the 7 minute and bought right here when the ribbons changed and rode this thing the entire way. I guess the Bitcoin, this is going to be a huge percentage, but most people are leveraging Bitcoin to get potential gains. So 4.1%, doing like a 10x leverage. Yeah, man. 7 minutes, crazy. Again, shout out to Sam Price, guys. If you want to learn how to swing trade and learn small time frame moves, Sam Price, the dude has some ideas, man. I recommend following him if it's something you're interested in doing. But guys, that is all I have for you this morning. Per usual, if you enjoy the content I provide for you here every morning on Boring Crypto IO, please by all means subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for notifications. Watch all of the videos, please. Share the videos on all your social platforms. Like the videos. It helps. Let's grow. Let's expand. Let's do all of the things and get everyone excited about crypto. And I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I'm out of here.